Women like Frida Kahlo, Artemisia Gentileschi, and Georgia O'Keeffe paved the way for women in our modern world to freely access artistic resources and be seen as artists in their own right. We still face continuous battles, with arts, jobs, and galleries being significantly male-dominated, but the women in this video helped achieve the level of freedom we do have today. Elizabeth Vigée Lebrun was a self-taught Parisian artist who faced and conquered major obstacles. This was unfortunately something many women faced during 19th century Paris. A court painter for Marie Antoinette herself, Lebrun was given the opportunity to study at the French Academy when she was 28, a time when there were only 3 other female members. Her works were sympathetic towards aristocratic women, showing more natural depictions than her contemporaries who idealized their sitters. During the French Revolution, she was forced to flee due to her affiliation with Marie Antoinette. During this time, she travelled throughout Europe where she would receive commissions in St. Petersburg, Naples, Florence, Berlin, and Vienna before she returned to Paris when the revolution settled. Auguste Sauvage was an amazing sculptor associated with the Harlem Renaissance. She was an influential teacher and activist, spending her life advocating equality for African Americans in the arts. In 1921, she beat 142 male artists for the chance to study at the Cooper's Union. In 1923, she was rejected from a summer art program sponsored by the French government because of her race, which sparked her lifelong fight for justice and equality. One of her first commissions, a bust of W.E.B. Du Bois for the Harlem Library, gained her widespread popularity among African American leaders. By 1929, she began receiving widespread recognition for a sculpture of a child from Harlem titled Gamin. This secured her a sponsorship to study in Paris, where she would exhibit her work and win awards. She launched the Savage Studio of Arts and Crafts after returning to the United States in 1931, which would become the Harlem Community Arts Center in 1932. She would become the first African American artist to be elected to the National Association of Women Painters and Sculptors. Her life was filled with groundbreaking work and a dedication to teaching those around her. Agnes Martin was a large contributor to the minimalist movement, though she stands apart from the crowd with her intensely private and spiritual works. She explained that her works would come to her mind fully formed, the size of a stamp, and she would transform them into large-scale works that we see today. After receiving an art education, the artist moved to the desert plains of Taos, New Mexico. She would spend her time creating her paintings, eventually gaining the attention of Betty Parsons, a New York gallerist, who convinced Martin to move to New York in 1957. She lived alongside a community of artists in Lower Manhattan. She developed a signature format, 6 by 6 foot canvases covered edge to edge with meticulously penciled grids and finished with a layer of gesso. At the height of her career, in 1967, Martin was faced with the loss of her home, the death of her friend, and an increasing mental illness. She returned to New Mexico where she abandoned painting for writing and meditation. She did return to painting by 1974, though there was a subtle shift in her style. Her later works utilized warm colors that were reminiscent of the desert landscape in which she spent the remainder of her life. These women were revolutionary in their works and lifestyles that challenged societal art norms. For more videos about women artists, don't forget to like and subscribe.